vested interests coming from the Western countries. That is the correct analysis of the problem. And unless you understand it in this way, you will be misled by the enemy. The enemy is bent on destroying your morale. You can kill us. Zambians will be born out of our blood will continue to fight. We are men and women of principle. We have done all these things in search of peace.
On October 24, 1964, Zambia emerged from the shadow of colonialism to become an independent nation. The people of Zambia celebrated their newfound freedom and self-determination. But as the years have passed, the question lingers in the air, are we really free? To understand the question, we must first look back at history. Zambia, formerly known as Northern Rhodesia, was under British colonial rule for decades. The struggle for independence was long and led by figures like Kenneth David Kaunda and Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe. The fight for Independence Day was electric. But as the dust settled, the challenges of nationhood emerged. Today, Zambia turns 59, free from colonial rule. I spoke to residents in the city of Lusaka to understand on whether Zambia is really free.
My name is Kamanga. Mwameneni ganzira pari independence at my age today is that yes, independence banatuwinira makolo batu banaliko kudala, but muntu afuna kuziba kuti independence ni chani. Pali ine paneka niganiza kuti independence ni muntu wamwine wake, freedom wanatipasa kudala. Basi kuti freedom kuti kuli konso kwamene tuzaenda basogolere batu amene timasala onkala mu government bazamba bora kuti kambira kuli konso kwamene tizamba kuyenda. Freedom ni wamwine wake. Tufunika sometimes tankala na nthawi yochita find out kuti lamulo pazikola anthu ya Zambia ikamba bwanji pali nkhani ya mtendere. Oro kumanchito wamene tipezeka makamaka kuli bamwisa wamene tisebezako wamatichita abuse pena ngotundrama tung'ono chane but marebalozi basogolere batu amatipasa.
We are not free. We only free politically. Okay? We independently not free. We are economically not free. That's it.
Hi, my name is Edward. My opinion, we're not. I think for me, freedom touches on so many things. That includes a lot of rights, such as education, basic health care, and just look at the times that we've been living in for the past 59 years. Yeah. So now, if you look at where we are, I still think we've got a long way to go, such that we could reach the stage where we could make our own decisions, because I don't think we're economically free.
My name is George, and on this Independence Day, I just want to air my few observations concerning Zambia's independence and the freedom. Well, in terms of peace, I would say we are independently free because we're able to move freely, we're able to embrace other people from different walks of our lives. So when it comes to that, personally, I feel we've reached a milestone. But in terms of economical freedom, we are not free at all. Even political freedom, we are not free at all, because when you talk of economical freedom, very few Zambians have wealth, have generational wealth, and most of these companies are in the hands of foreigners.
To many, this day means freedom, but there are many doubts of Zambia being economically free. Yusuf Dodia is an economic analyst, and he shares the same view.
And the question that is asked after 59 or years of independence is, are we truly independent? And in my view, I think we have political independence, which means that we run the country, we have a Zambian leadership, we have a Zambian government, we have a Zambian civil service. And that gives us a certain level of independence. But are we economically dependent? I don't think we are. When we look at how our major industries running in Zambia, which is the mining sector, commercial farming, manufacturing, and even the tourism sector, we find that the Zambian economy is largely driven by 20 or 30 foreign companies that are invested in Zambia. Our GDP as a nation is largely driven by these same 20 or 30 foreign companies. And that makes us dependent on foreign investors who very much call the shots when it comes to the rules and regulations.
Trevor Hambai is an economist, and he says Zambia will only really be free when majority of its people are not living in poverty.
The basic fundamentals that determine what economic independence is that our people have got a decent livelihood. That decent livelihood is denoted by having decent housing, access, clean water, the issues around access to health and education, and then the basic food security of having 3 meals a day. Where we stand as a country right now is that we've got still a 60% poverty level in the country. It should be unacceptable. The country is endowed with vast amount of natural resources, arable land, and a very, very strong youth population. Yes, the political independence is good, but there is nothing more valuable than economic independence. Our country has got an economy that is driven by foreign entities. And we as Zambians are contributing so little. Our resources are being externalized. We need to find a solution that is truly speaking to the country's well-being and its people.
The church says the country is free, but there is too much influence from the Western on policy direction. Bishop Andrew Mwenda is Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia Executive Director.
Somehow we are a free people. Somehow God has granted us this freedom, and this has been 59 years of independence. So we are grateful to God that we are free. What do I mean also to say free? Of course, I'm no. When I say that no is both politically and economically. Politically, it means that we have an influence that has remained with us, an influence on how to politically decide. And this has been an influence that for many, many years now, where we are influenced by the Western in how we are going to decide our policy direction. So even our current constitution has a lot to do with the Western world, the people that colonized us. So somehow, somewhere, even if we are free politically to a certain extent, but we are not as free as we should be in terms of policy direction, in terms of our constitution, for example, our laws, there are still Western laws, a lot of them. So we need to think about that. Economically speaking, no, we are not free. That area, no, we need a lot of freedom. We can't determine our own economic direction. We have to consult and do it with the others. For example, IMF literally directs what we must do and what we must not do.
It seems the major freedom Zambians are missing is economic freedom. This has been plainly highlighted by the past interviewees. Zambia is a multi-party system. Democracy and freedom have been the words that politicians used to appeal to the public. I now need to understand what opposition political parties think about Zambia's freedom. Savoy Imbwela is the National Democratic Congress leader.
As we celebrate our 59th independence as a country, Zambia, I'd like to look at the political environment that we currently live in, as a nation. It is very, very sad to see that after so many years, our political development is still the way it is. Because by now there is supposed to be a lot of civic and political freedoms, but as it stands, you find that the ruling parties normally infringe on the rights of the opposition so much. For example, if you look at the UPND, for me the UPND is actually one of the worst political parties that has ever run this country when it comes to the infringement of political rights of its political opponents. Some political parties before they would maybe have a target of 1 or 2 individuals, but the UPND are targeting everyone. If you look at all the opposition political parties in the country right now and their leaders, I can sadly say that all of them are being targeted. Maybe like the active ones. If you look at the leaders, be it myself, be it President Harry Kalaba, be it President Sean Tembo, President Membe, President Nawakwi, almost each and every person is in court. You can't have a country which is targeting individuals like that.
I also spoke to New Heritage Party President Chalakateka on whether Zambia is really free.
We can never say we are truly independent until we get the third leg of independence, which is economic and financial. The time that we shall consider ourselves independent is when we are in complete control of our resources, our means of production, and our ability to dictate the economy of our nation and to be able to direct it in the right direction. At the moment, this is not happening, and because of that, as New Heritage Party, we are of the view that we are not truly independent.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, is the current party in government, and this is what they think on Zambia being really free.
My name is Francis Kope. I'm the National Youth IPS. And talking of, getting into 59 years of independence and talking of freedom and independence, what does it mean to us? First of all, we need to realize that we are very free as a country, and looking at the dividend of that freedom is the peace that we are enjoying, the democracy that we are enjoying. We are able to choose our own leaders, and through elections that have been happening for quite some time, every after 5 years we have seen government coming in and government going, and today we have the new Dawn administration that is at the helm of power, and through the celebration of independence, we have seen that the past 2 years have been positive for the under the UPND, and we have seen that we have now taken a step further in addressing some of the issues that may hamper or hinder our freedom in terms of in economic emancipation.
Freedom is beyond independence. Freedom means being independent from colonial masters. It also means being free politically, socially, economically, and religiously. While Zambia has made significant progress in terms of democracy and peace, challenges remain, particularly in one key area: economic freedom. Economic freedom is a fundamental and crucial aspect of a thriving society. It paves the way for economic growth, innovation, poverty reduction, and an improved standard of living. And countries that embrace economic freedom tend to be more globally competitive. However, the question still lingers: is Zambia really free? For Christian Voice News, I'm Angel Kasabo.